So Maasai warriors in Kenya are known to be able to hunt for lions with bare hands and kill lions. So one of the tests of puberty, that a boy is growing to be a man, is the ability of that boy to hunt for a lion and kill a lion with bare hands. Among these people, there was a boy named Joseph. One day Joseph, who was walking along one of the hot, dirty African roads, met someone who shared the gospel of Jesus Christ with him. And there he accepted Jesus as his Lord and Savior. The power of the Spirit began transforming his life, and he was filled with such excitement and joy that the first thing he wanted to do was to return to his village and there share the good news to the members of his own local tribe. That is to say, he was passing by, somebody met him, preached to him, and he was so excited because he got Jesus and returned back to his village. Joseph began going from door to door, telling everyone he met about the cross, suffering, and the salvation that it offers, expecting to see their faces light up the way his heart, that is, expecting to see that the villagers would be excited the way he was also excited. And to his amazement, the villagers not only didn't care, they became violent. The men of the village seized him, held him to the ground, while the women beat him with strands of barbed wire. He was dragged from the village and left to die alone in the bush. Joseph somehow managed to crawl to a water hole. And after days of passing in and out of consciousness, of course, because of the extent of beating he received, he found some strength to get up. He wondered about the hostile reception he had received from the people he has known all his life. He decided he must have said something wrong or left something out of the story of Jesus. After rehearsing his message that he gave at first, he decided to go back and share the gospel again. If you follow my story, he was sharing the gospel with them, and the men of the city held him. The women beat him to unconsciousness and left him to die. And somehow, when he regained consciousness, Joseph limped into the cycle of huts and began to proclaim Jesus. That is, he went back again after he recuperated from the first beating. He died for you. That is Joseph now talking to the villagers. He died for you so that you might find forgiveness and come to know the living God, he pleaded. Again, he was grabbed by the men of the village and held while the women beat him, reopening the wounds that had just begun to heal. Once more, they dragged him unconscious from the village and left him to die. To have survived the first beating was truly remarkable. To live through the second beating was a miracle. Again, days later, Joseph awoke in the wilderness. That is, after they beat him the second time, they threw him to the wilderness to die this time around. Bruised and scared, determined to go back again. He returned to the same village, and this time they attacked him before he even had a chance to open his mouth and say anything. As they flogged him for the third time, and possibly the last time, he spoke to them, Jesus Christ the Lord, and as the beating continued, before he passed out, the last thing he saw was that the women who were beating him while the men held him to the ground, the last thing he remembered before he passed out was that these same women that were beating him began to cry. This time around, he has passed out already. He was obviously, this time he awoke in his own bed, meaning they took him back to the hospital because he passed out. The ones who were so severely beating him were now the ones trying to save him. and nurse him back to health, and the entire village returned to Christ.